What's going on? What's up, YouTube? Finally, it is here. The NFL tonight at 8 a.m. is going to announce the NFL regular season schedule for every team, for every fan that is out there. You've waited all offseason. We've gotten past the draft. We've gotten past free agency, right? We've gotten past rookie minicamp. It is now time. Forget all the speculation, right? We've known who we're going to face for the past couple of months now. The only thing that we didn't know was what order it was going to be in and when and where the games were going to be played. Well, tonight we're going to find out. And as every Eagles fan, as every football fan out there, man, whether you're an NFC East fan, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants, whether you're an NFC North, NFC West, NFC South, AFC, whatever it is, whatever team that you root for. All right, this is the first chance that you actually really get a chance to look at your friends, to look at the teams that you don't like, and you get to put on your calendar, you get to put an X on games. Not only do you as fans get to do that, but players around the National Football League will be looking at the schedule. They will be getting together. They will be talking with players. They will be talking with coaches. They will be talking with their friends and their families. They will be making arrangements for tickets, and these guys also will be marking down the different players that they want to play and for why these certain games are dominant games or why these certain games are the games in which they are marking on the calendar as must-win games or as games in which they are a measuring stick that a team wants to see where they actually stack up. Now is the time to call your friends on the phone and start talking trash. You know, I got Cowboys fans. Because it's no secret here, all right? We cover the National Football League, and actually we cover all sports, all right? But it's no secret. Here on TK Sports Talk, TK the official is a Philadelphia Eagles football fan, and I don't apologize for it, all right? Yes, I am a football fan, but I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan first, and I make no mistakes about that, all right? I couldn't wait, and I still can't wait for the NFL to announce the full schedule for the Philadelphia Eagles and the rest of the NFL teams, but Eagles Nation, right? We do know some of the games that we're going to see. The NFL has announced 4 of the Philadelphia Eagles games that we're going to see, right? We've already known for a couple of days now the Cowboys will travel to Philadelphia on September 4th on the first opening day game of the inaugural, not the inaugural, but of the NFL football season for 2025. And they will face off against your defending Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles, right? A lot of storylines in that game. It's a rivalry game. It's a high-powered offense against another high-powered offense. It's a dominant defense against, not a great dominant defense on the other side, all right? So, and then we also know that the Bears will be traveling to Philadelphia to play the Eagles on Black Friday. All right, now we don't have a time for that game just yet. I am imagining that game, from what I understand, is going to be a night game, but we'll see exactly what time the NFL announces that game when it comes out. And then we know the Philadelphia Eagles will play the Washington Commanders, all right, on a Saturday primetime game. Well, that game actually has been announced that it will be a 3:00 game, but that game is still a Saturday game. It's only going to be 4 other teams, or 3 other teams rather, playing on that day. 4 teams total, including your Philadelphia Eagles. And then the NFL has announced just a little bit earlier today that the Eagles will be playing the Packers. We'll be going to Green Bay, and we'll be playing the Packers on a Monday night on November 10th. Against the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field. All right, so I can't wait. All right, I'm pumped for these games. I can't wait for some of these games. I'm already calling my Commanders fans. We already know that game is going to be on a Saturday, and I live in the Washington, D.C. area, right? So for me, that's going to be a big game. That's going to be a game that I'm going to go to, take my son to. We're going to make sure that we tailgate for the game, get down there, and we're going to have a lot of fun as the Philadelphia Eagles probably going to kick the Commanders' ass, to be honest about it, the whole situation, right? Now, I've gotten hold of a schedule. I'm not sure on exactly how true this is, if this is actually going to be the schedule for week 1. But so far, this is what I got as sneak peek into week 1. And there's some key matchups that I'm looking into, right? I'm looking at the Denver and the Texans game, right? That's going to be a good game. I really like what I saw from Denver's young quarterback last season, right? Don't know exactly what's going to be going on with the running game, who's going to be out there replacing Javonte Williams. I haven't quite done my homework on exactly what's going on in Denver. However, what I do know is that that team has a great defense. It's led by Sean Payton, and they got an exciting rookie quarterback that's out there that's really doing this thing, right? C.J. Stroud, now in your third year. DeMeco Ryans, now in your third year, right? That whole group there, hopefully Tank Dell is healthy this year. I thought the Texans really suffered from not having Tank Dell last year. I know that they tried to have Stephon Diggs out there, and unfortunately that didn't work out for them in the way that they would like for it to. But I'm a big fan of C.J. Stroud, right? I really like to see what happened or what will happen with them. I love the fact that they got Joe Mixon last year. I thought Cincinnati should have kept him, but no, it's no wonder that we're paying Jamar Chase and paying T. Higgins. And as you can see, Cincinnati is still struggling right now at the moment to pay Trey Hendrickson. Joe Mixon definitely was a casualty, and that's why he's not with Cincinnati. But a great pickup for Houston Texans nonetheless, right? When it comes to the Detroit Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings, right? This is more of a measuring stick for Sam Darnold than the Minnesota Vikings, right? Or not Sam Darnold than the Minnesota Vikings. Excuse me, Sam Darnold is no longer there, right? This is more of a measuring stick for the coach Kevin McConnell out there in Minnesota, right? And hopefully the young quarterback who was there, TJ, forget his name right now, but the young quarterback from Michigan. Hopefully the young quarterback from Michigan can come in this year and it can have a healthy season, because from what we saw from him in the preseason last year, things look pretty good. I think Minnesota, as we all know, has a great football team, right? Defensively, they have a pretty stout football team. We know that they have weapons on the outside with those two wide receivers out there, and we know that they just needed solid quarterback play, which is something that they did get last year. However, when discussing and talking about Sam Darnold, when it came down to the playoffs, ultimately, he wasn't able to perform the way that they wished that he would, right? Detroit, it didn't go the way that you wanted it to go last season. You're coming off of a brand new season this year. We're losing both of your coordinators, right? What is your defense going to be like? What is your offense going to be like? We know you have some dogs on the defensive side of the ball. We know you got some dogs on the offensive side of the ball. Detroit, as a team, sustained a lot of injuries last year, and unfortunately, they were unable to overcome those, right? So it's going to be a pretty big game to go up, a division game, a battle within the NFC North, right? And this can be a game that may have implications deep on into the year, which it probably will with the way that the NFL does this scheduling. The Bears versus the Commanders, right? Caleb Williams, right? Before we get into Washington and the Commanders, right, we understand that the Commanders had a big year. We know what happened with them, and we're going to recap all of that there in 1 second. But for Caleb Williams, right? Caleb Williams, Heisman Trophy winner, coming into the NFL, right? Things didn't go exactly the way he wanted it to go his first season, right? Caleb Williams almost didn't even look like the fourth best quarterback in the draft this past coming season, right? But we all know how tough the NFL can be. We all know that sometimes it takes time for a rookie quarterback and to be put in a situation where you're not quite sure and the team is not believing in the head coach and you don't have all the players pulling in the right direction. And then they also, while they did set Caleb Williams up with some weapons, right? They did get him a weapon at running back. They did provide him with great weapons at the wide receiver position. However, what they did not provide him with was an offensive line to protect him, right? When you got a rookie quarterback that's coming into the league and he's got to read defenses and he's got to understand what the plays that's called and trying to make sure that he knows his route concepts and what's going on, right? And he's got all those different things to think about. One thing that you can do as a team is protect him and give him time to process. Right? Like, we already know we're speeding up his processor as it is, right? But when you have a quarterback and you don't protect that quarterback and now he's automatically thinking and looking for the rush, he doesn't have time to process the play. Right? Even in the 16-game season. Now, we did see certain games in the season where we saw progress from Caleb Williams when he was able to be comfortable with the play calls. He was able to be comfortable with the players that he was playing with, and he was actually able to make some plays. But we didn't see the off-schedule plays from Caleb Williams that we would like to see. Hopefully this year he's able to be comfortable within the offense and we're able to see some of those off-schedule plays that we know Caleb Williams has been famous for making, and that'll make the Chicago Bears a much more dangerous team, right? New coach, new coordinators coming in there, right? So we're going to see how things play out on that side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball for Chicago has always been a good side of the ball for them. Has always been something that they've been able to hang their hat on as being being the old monsters of the Midway. So we're going to see how the Chicago Bears fare as they play the Washington Commanders, right? Now, if this is true, I'm hearing that the Washington Commanders may be playing the Giants, right? The schedule hadn't come out. I hadn't seen anything on Twitter indicating that the Commanders were playing the Giants as week 1. And to be honest, that would just be a terrible game, right? Like, the NFL is about marketing, right? You got Caleb Williams, right? And you got Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels just came off of an amazing rookie season where he was the best rookie quarterback, even over Caleb Williams. Coming into the season, in the offseason, was Caleb Williams going to be the best quarterback? Was Jaden Daniels going to be the best quarterback? Well, it was clear by a mile. Right? Not only was Jaden Daniels the best quarterback, but he was able to take his team to the NFC Championship game. Well, ultimately they got blown out by the Philadelphia Eagles. Right? I'm sorry, that's just what happened. Right? The score was 55-23. By my estimation, that's a blowout. Right? However, getting your team to the NFC Championship game, no matter who you lost to, is an accomplishment within itself, right? And Jaden Daniels was able to do that and get his team over the hump and pretty much put that team on his back throughout that entire time, right? So why not, after a whole offseason of thirsting to see what Jaden Daniels has next, right? And after an offseason of trying to find out, will Caleb Williams be better than he was last year with a new head coach and a quarterback coach and all that other kind of stuff that's going to make him a better player and a system that he can sink his teeth into over the next year or 2 or 3, right? And how that's going to help him mature as a quarterback, right? Because we know that these are two talented teams, right? The Bears didn't play good last year, but they were a very, very talented team. And in the first game of the season, anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. So I think that if this is indeed the matchup, this makes for a much, much, much better game, right? Looking at the Rams and the Seahawks, right? That is a big, crucial game. If you're the Seahawks, you got rid of Geno Smith, right? You traded him out there to Oakland. He's out there with Pete Carroll. And now you got Sam Darnold as your quarterback, right? Things didn't work out for Sam Darnold in Minnesota, but Sam Darnold was able to show that, hey, I'm a better than average quarterback, right? Now Sam Darnold is out there in Seattle. He's got some weapons. Don't have DK Metcalf anymore. Still have the running game back there with Walker and Charbonnet, right? Still have some good pieces out there with Lockett, and you still have Jackson Smith and Jigba. And I'm sure the Seahawks have made some other additions that I'm just not privy or aware of right now. But if you're the Rams, right? You're the Rams, you're just coming off of a playoff push in which you actually did get a chance to win the division. The Cardinals are down right now, on the come up, but down. The 49ers are down right now. Don't know how good they're going to be this year. All right. And then you're looking at the Seahawks as the only other real competition in the division right now, right? And so if you're the Rams, you just got Devontae Adams, right? Matt Stafford, maybe he's got another year or 2 left. You pair Devontae Adams with Puka Nacua, and we're just going to see how that works out. Is Devontae Adams is the trade-off the same between Devontae Adams and Cooper? It just depends, right? I mean, I think they both were great route runners, right? But Devontae Adams may just add a little bit more explosiveness at the moment. But we'll see, man. Both of those guys were aging wide receivers, and we'll just see how Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua does. And so I'm sure everyone's interested to see that, as Sean McVay is a very good football coach and is always going to have his team ready, right? So that's going to be a really big battle for those, as those will be the top 2 teams in the NFC West this year. Another big game that I'm looking at is the Bengals versus the Bills, and namely because Joe Burrow, right? You didn't have a good season last season, right? You weren't able to turn it on like you thought you could and get your team to the playoffs like you should have, right? And I mean, everyone gives Joe Burrow so much credit. And Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. I mean, make no bones about it. Joe Burrow is an absolute outstanding quarterback. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing with Lamar Jackson. You got to get it done. right? And when you don't get your team to the playoffs, that's unacceptable. I can't understand how you don't get your team to the playoffs. Yes, Cincinnati didn't have a great defense last year, but how many games did we watch where there was a crucial turnover, whether it was a fumble, whether it was an interception, or whether it just was an incomplete pass, or they just didn't get it done? Right? When the Philadelphia Eagles played the Cincinnati Bengals last year, the Bengals were one game short of making the playoffs. If the Bengals would have beat the Eagles, maybe they would have won that game. If the Bengals would have beat the Commanders, if the Bengals would have beat the Eagles, maybe they'd gotten to the playoffs. If the Bengals would have beat the Commanders, maybe they would have did the same. But the reality is that Joe Burrow and his team were not able to make enough plays. Joe Burrow did not make enough plays. Yes, the defense doesn't help him all the time, but yes, the defense does help him some of the time because they're out there making some plays. Otherwise, teams would just score every possession. So spare me with all of that. Joe Burrow, you got to get it done, right? You're going up against Josh Allen. It's a big game for the first game of the season, right? And what is the narrative going to say if you come out and you lose to Josh Allen, right? Now the Bengals are usually come out and they're usually 0-2 to start the season. Joe, you got to do better. 0-2 to start the season, you're a great quarterback and you've done this 3 seasons, 3 out of 4 seasons is unacceptable. All right, you're going into Buffalo, you got to get a victory. If you're the Buffalo Bills, you didn't get it done last year. Again, against Kansas City. Again, not getting it done, right? At the end of the day, it's just a regular season game for you, right? If you're the Buffalo Bills, right, it is just strictly about the postseason. Strictly about the postseason. However, you want to know where you stack up in the first game of the season against the Cincinnati Bengals because this is the team that could be sitting there battling with you for your spot, right? You don't know what's going on in your division right now. Is Miami going to take a step and be better, right? Miami didn't have Tua Tagovailoa for about 6 or 7 games last year, right? Now, I say what you want to say about Tua as a quarterback. If Tua was there, Miami would have won 3 or 4 more games possibly. Right? And if they would have been there for the whole time, maybe they would have had their rhythm together, right? That would have been a whole different team, right? Now, Vrabel is back out there, is out there in New England. And to be honest, I like Drake May. So I'm curious to see what Vrabel does with Drake May, what they're able to do out there, how he's able to galvanize that team because the Patriots team had talent. They just weren't a good team, right? So we'll see what Mike Vrabel is able to do out there and put some more pressure on them. And you won't have to worry about the Jets. So we'll just won't talk about them, all right? And then the last game of the first week of the season, I didn't mention the Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, that's a game. It's a marquee game. But honestly, the Chargers just got to show me something. I know Jim Harbaugh is out there now, and yes, their team did look drastically different than the other coach that they had that I couldn't stand, Brandon Staley, that I should have been fired 2 seasons ago, right? However, Justin Herbert and his team, same results, right? You got to get it done. That playoff game, that's not it, right? That's not it. So what you need to do is it's not all about the playoffs for the Chargers, right? Because we still want to see consistent regular seasons from them, right? Last year could have just been a one and done. That could have just been, a blip in the radar. Let's see you come out and be better than what you were last year, right? Let's see you come out and play against the Kansas City Chiefs and take them down to the wire. All right, let's not fall apart in the fourth quarter because you're not a well enough coached football team. And Jim Harbaugh's second year with the team, I know you're not that. All right. But Monday Night Football, you got the Ravens against the Green Bay Packers. Right now, for the Ravens, for Lamar Jackson, it don't really matter what you do in the first week of the season. Right. Because for you guys, it is all about Super Bowl or bust. Right? Who cares what you're doing in the regular season? I can care less what your record is. Get in the postseason and then win 2 or 3 games and get to the championship and then get to the Super Bowl. Because that's what it's about. You got one of the best teams out there. You got one of the better defenses out there. You got one of the top 5 quarterbacks out there. 2-time MVP. 2 times, right? So no more excuses for the Ravens. No more excuses for Lamar Jackson. Right? And maybe no more excuses for John Harbaugh, right? You got to get it done. Yeah, you're a great coach and everything, and I understand that, right? But same thing like with Mike Tomlin that's going on out there in Pittsburgh, right? Like let me see something, right? Like let's not just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and never achieving anything more beyond that, right? Because that's not why we're here, right? Like we play to win the game, right? Herm Edwards there, right? Like you play to keep winning the game, every game, right? Especially the playoffs. So I'll be curious to see what the Ravens look like going against a team like Green Bay. Because if you're Green Bay, it's not Super Bowl or bust for you, right? But playing against the Ravens on the first week of the season is a true measuring stick for you as an organization, as a franchise, right? Because you want to put yourselves off to a great start. You know that you have to battle with Detroit. You got to battle with Minnesota. And now you got to battle with Chicago. Because we're all expecting for Chicago to have a much better year than what they did prior, right? So if you're Green Bay, it's imperative that you come out and that you try to win that first game, right? That you try to it's a non-division game, non-conference game. So yes, some of those games don't mean as much. They're not as valued as much. Yes, I get it. I understand it, right? But if you're Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, right? If you're the head coach of that football team, because LaFleur, you're not Sean McVay. And to be honest, LaFleur, you definitely not Nick Sirianni, right? Like, you ain't that. You ain't been to 2 Super Bowls and won 1, right? Like, you don't got the most the winningest record since you come into the league as a head football coach. You don't got that. You haven't gone through multiple offensive and defensive coordinators like Nick Sirianni has and still has had his team above 11 wins every year. You not that, right? So it'll be interesting to see, right, for Jordan Love and for LaFleur if they're able to get off to a good start and show where they are as a football team against a team like the Baltimore Ravens, right? Who is an AFC Super Bowl contender. So those are some of the matchups that I'm going to be looking into. We're going to see what the NFL schedule actually looks like, because this here could be, some BS, right? It's on X, it's on Twitter, whatever you call it. Who knows what it is? But we're thirsting for football, all right? We are thirsting for the schedule. It will be out. It will be announced tonight at 8 o'clock, right? All my Philadelphia Eagles football fans, hold tight. We're going to go through the schedule. We're going to go through the Commanders schedule. We're going to go through the Giants schedule, right? And the Cowboys schedule, right? We're going to look at it. We're going to do some predictions. Man, we're going to have a whole lot of fun with this whole thing, man. So please, if you're in the comments, if you're watching the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of these first week games, or do you think these are the real games? If these are the games, please let me know which games you are most looking forward to watching in that first week, right? And which ones do you think have the most pivotal impact, man? So again, right, what we know as Philadelphia Eagle football fans, we know that the Cowboys are playing the Eagles on the first week. We know the Eagles will be playing the Bears on Black Friday. We know the Eagles will be playing the Commanders on a Saturday in December, and we know that the Eagles and the Packers will be playing Monday night on November 10th. Maybe I'll go out there to that game. I'm always trying to find a road game. We'll see what they got going on, man. Hey, this has been your boy TK the Official. All right, thank you for tuning in to another episode of TK Sports Talk, right? We just went over the whole schedule from what we know for week 1, and then we just went over some of the games that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be involved in. A lot of primetime games, right? A lot of primetime games for the top teams out there. A lot of games for Kansas City, for Commanders, for the Philadelphia Eagles, right, for Ravens, some of the other teams, right? But we're going to see what the full schedule looks like tonight, man. I can't wait for it to come out. I will be here live, or I will be here right on after shortly to cover it. This has been your boy TK the Official. Thanks for tuning in to TK Sports Talk. I'm out. Please make sure you drop a comment, like, and subscribe. Have a blessed day. Go Birds.